Welcome to Tuesdays with Annette. It's Home Ec with Annette, and I love this show because I get to cook with you. So I hope you've downloaded the recipe that's on for today, which is the beef and bacon burger. Now it's out of book 7, and here's the recipe here. It's actually in the burger section. That's how much I love burgers. I've given a whole section to burgers, and that's what we're making today. But the good news is you can make this for 6, or in the cooking for 1 or 2, it makes 3 burgers. So it depends on how many's in your family. They are suitable to be frozen, so don't worry about it. Okay, so before we start, let's talk about the equipment we need. I've got my fry pan here, my non-stick fry pan. I've got an egg lifter. I've got some teaspoon measures. I've also got a scone cutter, and it's the larger size one because that's how I'm going to shape my burgers. I love to get a nice round shape. I'll show you how to do that shortly. I need a chopping board. I've got a bowl to mix my burgers in, and I've got a rubbish bowl, and I've also got my gloves, and I'll put them on in a minute because you've got to really squish these burgers mixed together, and I always like to just put the gloves on. You need some measure cups, chopping board. I think we're right. So let's just go over and wash our hands first before we start. Okay, so, oh, my cord. I hope you're having a fabulous week. I think, restrictions are starting to lift, but I still think there are some things that we definitely need to be focusing on, and that's still protecting ourselves and making sure we don't get into trouble. So it's all about the 20 seconds, washing your hands. Fantastic. I think I'll, totally stick with this when we're all back to normal, because I just think it just shows we all want to be healthy and fabulous. So if you've just joined me, hello, it's Tuesdays with Annette, and I'm cooking for you, and I hope you're going to cook with me the beef and bacon burgers out of book 7 and cooking for 1 or 2. So let's look at the ingredients we need. So we need 90 grams of bacon shortcuts, and you'll see it's the meaty part of the bacon. We don't want the fatty rasher part. It's not for us healthy people. You need 500 grams of really lean, very lean beef mince. Now the variation in the recipe is you can replace the beef mince with 500 grams of chicken mince. So you could have chicken and bacon burgers, which is a bit fabulous too. We're going to do an egg white in there as well. This will hold and bind it together. We need 1/3 cup of finely diced onion. And when I make it, I really want it fine. Don't do chunks. There's nothing worse than, you need to be able to hold the burger together. So it's all about fine. Teaspoon of garlic. Look, I've just cut from my garden some parsley. I'm a bit excited. So over this time, I've actually nurtured and grown a herb garden. I know, I'm so excited with myself. And so we've got parsley fresh out of Annie's garden. You want a teaspoon of the beef stock. I like the Marcel stock powder because it's a lower sodium one. We're going to put 1/4 teaspoon of pepper in because I want to give it a bit of flavour. You're also going to put in 1/4 cup. Now this is the barbecued sauce, but it's the smoky. Okay, smoky. That's just a little different, and it really works well with the bacon in there as well. And we want 1/2 cup of breadcrumbs. I just buy the commercial ones that you'll see in a minute. You also, depending whether you want to make it with salad or veggies, but today I'm going to put it in an actual bun, and I'll show you that as we're getting it in. So let's get the party started. And so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to chop up the onion. Get that out of the way first. And I'm going to use, which knife would be good? I think I'll use the big one. Oh, hello! We forgot about the winners from last week's show, Rock Cake Heaven. I know we had 2 batches and we put them in the freezer, and I had friends over for afternoon tea. They thought it was the best thing ever, and I just had to defrost. Boom, fabulous. And you had some great photos up, and I really love that you do that because that's how you win. You've got to post your picture up. So the winners for this week are super fizzy excited is Carol Jackson, Donna Maguire, and the fabulous Elizabeth Rafter, all won book 3. So good on you girls. So I wonder who's going to be winning this week. All right, so let's start. Have you got your onion out? You got your chopping board. I hope your knife's nice and sharp. And what you do is you cut the ends off and then cut it down the middle. I've got my little bin here. See, I really love this whole idea of having a bin there because it saves me going back and forth to the bin and it makes it easier for you as well. So I hope you're doing that. Now we're going to peel off the onion skin, throw it away. I'm not sure, I think I probably only need that half of onion because I only need 1/3 cup. And because it's finely diced, it sort of seems to, you don't need a lot. So let's talk about dicing onion because the key is here, as I said, we want it to be finely diced. So let me show you how I do it and you follow me, okay? So you get your knife and you go through, not to the end. See, I've still got some at the end because I want to hold it together. Go through, I'm doing 4, maybe 5 levels. Now what you do is you get your knife and you go along and you can see I'm just going to the end because I want it, if you go too far then it starts falling apart. So this is my little way of doing easy onion. And do it fairly close because we want it fine, remember? Thanks for joining me today. I'm excited to cook for you. And who isn't loving? I'm loving this Tuesday with Annette. And the good news is I'm going to do it in June as well. So I hope you keep joining me every Tuesday for the month of June. All right, so now the trick is really fine. So go really as close as you can to the onion. Now notice I'm curving my fingers because that way I'm not going to cut myself and have half a finger in the mix. We don't want finger or nail in the mix, do we? So just curl it over. See, if you have it like that, you could chop, and we do not want nail in our burgers. So really close. If you've just joined me, hello, I'm chopping up book 7 and also in the Cooking for 1 or 2. Now when you get to the end bit that's actually still fairly solid, then I just go along and dice. Oh my God, are you loving the knives? Because you now can buy them. I know everyone's a bit excited. I've had people posting pictures of themselves using the knives. It is fantastic because you know what? Everyone was asking, where can I get these fabulous knives? So I decided to get them in for you, but sorry, you're going to love the price because I've got a great deal going for you. Check out the website, simplytoogood.com.au to find out more. All right, so there's my 1/3 cup. Let's put it in a bowl. So you can see I didn't use all of that. So you don't need a whole onion for it. So maybe a small onion. All right, so now we're going to chop up the parsley. So now what you do with the parsley, so you've got your onion done, yes? You ready? So now what we do is we're going to chop up the parsley. Now what I do is I take the stalks off. That's the key. You might look at this and go, gee, that's a lot of parsley in it, but you'd be surprised how little it goes when you start chopping it up. So now while we're talking, I want you to take off all your stalks of your parsley and then we'll get chopping. Now remember, this recipe is actually on the website. So if you haven't got book 7 or Cooking for 1 or 2, I mean, I'm sorry, why not? They're fabulous books, but you can actually get the recipe. And I do that every Tuesday. You can always get the recipe ahead of time because the idea is I want you to make it with me. So if you've got the recipe, you can prep up ahead, get your ingredients, and boom, we're making dinner for tonight. All right, so taking off those stalks. Now you can use like whiz things, like the Breville's got a little thing that you can chop up your parsley, but let's do it whole old school and actually chop it up ourselves. You might think, do I really need the parsley in here, Annette? Yes, you do. It really does make the taste fantastic in the burgers. All right, so now what I do is I collect all that parsley and I scrunch it up. Now, obviously, chefs don't do it like this, but we're all about easy here. And so what I do is I scrunch it all up, get my sharp knife, and then cut through. like the onion, really close, really fine. Yep, you've got it going. And then you come back and chop it. Now I find the easiest way to do it is don't do it like this. Hold it here, right? And go through. It's just it's a stronger way to be able to chop through the parsley. I can't believe I'm chopping up my own parsley. I'm a little bit impressed with myself. Do you know the other herbs I've got growing is sage, oregano. I've got mint. I've got parsley and sweet basil. And I made a soup up yesterday using my sweet basil. So look, here we go. Parsley's done, fabulous. And what do I need? I need 1/4 cup. See how that's dropped down? I needed all that, and I've got 1/4 cup. Good guessing, Annette. All right, so the last thing I want to do is the bacon. I'm going to change my knives over here anyway because I can. So now what you firstly need to do is take that fat off. And it tells you this in the recipe, so I tend to just go along like that. Get all that fat off. It goes away because I'm sorry, I don't want the fat from the meat. I mean, I'm looking at healthy here, and that's why I love the bacon shortcut. So we want it now. Get your knife, and I want you to dice this. And it's small dice again, because if you've got big pieces of bacon, it will just not work in the burgers. So I tend to pile them all on top of each other because I'm all about quick and easy. And then you just do little strips through. See how I've got the little strips? Have you got your strips cut? Then you come back and then small dice. That's it. Small dice. And we then are going to just chuck all this together and make the most fabulous burgers ever. You'll never want to buy a burger out ever again once you've done this. All right, so now I break that all up. Going to put that in here. And this is the goal here, is when I'm doing any of my cooking, I get it all set up ahead, because now we just put it all together. So let's just go back over what we've done, just so you've got time to catch up with me, because I don't want to rush ahead. We've chopped up our bacon, we've chopped up our parsley, and we've chopped up our onion, okay? So that's all the prep we need, because I've got all the ingredients ready to go. So let's just move the chopping board out. I'm just going to wash my hands a little bit and dry. And now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put my gloves on, because I just find it easier when I'm working with raw meat, mince. I don't want it getting under my nails or in my jewellery. So if you've just joined me, hello, I'm gloving up for a reason, because we're making the beef and bacon burgers out of book 7, and also in Cooking for 1 or 2. So, are we ready? All right. So now what we do is we're going to put the very lean. See how beautiful and red this is. It's fabulous. So that means if you've got lots of white bits in there, that's the fat. And we want nice and lean. So I'm just breaking that up a little bit. Going to put an egg white in. And that will hold it all together beautifully. Perfect. And we're going to just get in and mush it. Combine the egg white. See how I'm getting in and I'm squeeze. This would be a great one. I mean, hello, are the kids back at school now? Do we have a happy dance right now? My gosh, don't we think teachers are the best thing ever since we've had this lockdown? I know my daughters have had to homeschool, and it's a struggle, especially if you're working as well. So total respect to you. All right, so now back to my burgers. I've mushed that in, and we're now going to put all the onion the garlic. Now that's a teaspoon of garlic. Now I'm using the crushed already done because I'm just a lazy girl and I want it easy. But of course you can do fresh garlic if you wish. And I'm going to put the bacon in. Get all that bacon in, we want all that in there. And I'm going to put the parsley in. And once again, back in there. Mix it all up. We're a bit noisy here, let's put that down. Okay, mix all that in. And we've got to then put the last lot of ingredients in. But I like to get these in first, just so they're combining really well. Look, how hard is this? It's called squish away. There's nothing hard about this. Chop, squish and cook. I've got a new one. It's not, what is it I normally say? Chop it up, chuck it in the pot and cook it. No, this is a little different, this one. All right. So that's looking great. Let me get this out of the way. So we put in now the last lot of ingredients. So get a dry measure. We don't want to use the wet one again because that's just, everything sticks, it's no good. We're going to put a teaspoon of the beef stock powder. And if you're doing the chicken way, you'll do chicken, of course. We want, while I've got my spoon in my trusty hand, I'm going to take it down to 1/4 of a teaspoon. You might want to use black pepper, but for this one I'm just using normal pepper. And you just measure that out. And to always make sure you're right, just level it out. Yes, in it goes. We're going to put in 1/2 cup of breadcrumbs. Now, I've never made my own breadcrumbs. They say it's easy, but who can be bothered? You know what I mean? Hello. There we go. We want 1/2 cup. And what this does is this soaks up any of the moisture as well to help bind it all together. A little bit more. So see, I like that. Easy. Measure, boom. And the last but most important ingredient is our smoky barbecue sauce. So we want, and I'll have to squeeze this out, 1/4 cup. If you've only got normal barbecue sauce, well, you know what? Okay, use it. But you'll be surprised when you buy it how often you'll use this smoky one because it's a bit fabulous. And I need a spoon, one moment. Out of my drawer. Here we go. Oh, it can smell the smoky flavours. I'm going to turn my wok on as well. I mean, not my wok. Fry pan. Actually, I'll turn it down a little bit. And in it goes. How are you keeping up with me? Have you got everything in now? I hope so, because we're pretty well done. And now what we do is our last thing is to go in and mix this all together. So once again, you can see why I'm using my gloves, because I just find it much more pleasant to be able to do this. Now, did you know that I have 14 burger recipes? That's right. This gal loves her burger. She's an Aussie and we love a burger. And so if you've got my cookbooks, you need to check them out because there's some fantastic burger recipes, and especially in book 7, because it has a burger section. Now, really get in and give this a good mix up. The difference of a traditional hamburger that you go into the takeaway shop is they use a much fattier mince. They'll use a whole egg, and they also, if they're putting bacon on anything, it's certainly not the lean bacon I've used. So just be aware that this is a much healthier, because it's actually 7.2 grams of fat for one patty. If you put it in a roll, a grain roll with salad, it's 9.4 grams. But if you want the chicken, it's 8 grams for the patty. All right, so now I want 6. How am I going to get 6 out of this and try and keep them even? Well, watch what I do, because I think it's a little clever. I level it all out, and then I get a knife. And how many do we want? 6, that's right. So we go down. Imagine I'm cutting a pie, and you cut 6 wedges. And this way everyone's going to get their share. So what you do is you cut through and then scoop it out. Now the other thing that I do, which I think is a bit clever, let me turn this, I'm a bit slow here, let me turn this off. Put that off there for a minute. Okay, what we do now is you can either do the patties like this, okay, there's a nice burger, but let's just go a bit more fancy smancy, and this is how I do it. Let me move that over. Scone cutter with the smooth end, in it goes, push it down, get that bit of bacon in there, and lift it out. Now you've got a really good shaped burger. How's that? And what you can see is those little bits of bacon on the top. Just flatten it out a little bit so it's not too thick. Let's do a couple more. Once again, take out a wedge. I'm going straight into the scone cutter, push it down. I just think I like the uniforms. You can actually get burger patty moulds, you know, that you can get. Years ago I used to get them all the time. One more wedge, in it goes. Now we make 6 of these, but what I'm going to do, I want you to keep going. Let's get our 6 shapes into the mould again. You can see how easy this is, but it just gives it a bit of a, you know, nice look. Perfect. We've got 2 more to go. How are you going with your burgers? Now, as I said, you could make this, have it just as a burger with some salad, or you can have it in winter, which is I always like, is having it with some gravy and mashed potato and veggies. How fabulous is that? So, but you know, if you want a hamburger, who doesn't, then you do it in, I like to do it in a grain roll because I'm looking about getting all that extra fibre. It's all about the health and well-being. And there's, look, our 6 patties. I'm sorry, but do they look a bit fabulous? Let me put my heater back on. Oh. Cooking spray. I didn't mention that before, did I? Let me get this out of the way because we're a bit messy here. Oh. And we're going to cook off the patties. So there's our 6. Now you don't want it really hot because you'll burn the burgers, but I always start with hot. And then what you do is spray the tops. This is the side that goes down. Oh, I got my sizzle. And once I've got them in and the heat's contained, I'm going to turn them down. There's my patties, fabulous. Now they're really nice and hot, so I'm going to just turn that down a little bit. All right, so let me clean up my mess. I can take my gloves off now. And let's get this out of the way. So now the other thing is, I want to show you a little trick. Okay, because I've got a bun here ready to go. All right, so I've got some lettuce and tomato on there, but I always like cucumber with my burger, and so I want to show you a little trick. And this is, if you look at some of the pictures in the burger section, I've actually got this done, and you'll see it. I use a Lebanese cucumber. Take the ends off. Get your peeler, and let me just turn that up a bit. And then what you do is you just go along, take a few of them, go through a few layers, and this is how you get those lovely, what would you call them, curls or ribbons? Ribbons, that's what I'd call it. So here we go. Look at this. See, look, you never know what you're going to learn on Tuesday with Annette. All you do is go through, it's so easy. Let's do one more. There you go. Oh my gosh, how fabulous is that? Now, for you or me, I don't know, but I really like having beetroot and a bit of fried onion. Now, in book 7, it tells you how to make low-fat fried onions, so check that out. Now, while we're cooking here, I'm just going to, it normally about 4 to 5 minutes on each side. So what we've got to do is just wait a little bit longer. I might just turn them over now because we want to get, you know, like I'll cook them a little bit more later, but I want to show you the end. Spray the top. Now remember, this recipe's on the website if you wanted to get it. And now I'm just turning over. Let me bring it over. Turning over my patties. There you go. And one more. So there you can see, there's my patties cooking. I mean, do they look fabulous? Yes. So I'm just going to leave them cooking. Notice I haven't got it on too high, so they're not burning too much. We've got our roll ready to go. Let me just show you something else. This is one of the rolls I bought. I bought 2 because we're going to have them for lunch. And the key with bread rolls is it's about the weight. Like this looks massive, yes? But it actually only weighs 70 grams. They're both 70 grams. We've got them at Baker's Delight. And it's a grain. I like, as I said, I like the grain because we're getting the extra fibre. But if it's a heavy roll and it's this size, it would be too much. You'd have this is where carbs are good for you as long as you have them in moderation. So just remember, it's about a light bread roll, not a heavy bread roll. All right, so if you would like to win, because you know you do, you want to win book 7, or you actually get a choice. You can win the Cooking 1 or 2 if you want just 3 burgers opposed to 6 burgers. And what you have to do is you have to like, share, and take a photo of your beef and bacon burgers and put it in the comments. Now, that's all you've got to do, and then next week I'll go through and pick 3 fabulous winners. And I know you want to win, but remember, for tips and recipes, you know where to go. For next Tuesday's recipe, which I'll tell you about in a minute, you go onto the website, simply-toogood.com.au, and you'll find the recipe. Now, this Thursday, because I do the 2 shows now, Tuesday with Annette, Thursday with Annette. The Thursday with Annette show is banana bread. I know, how amazing. Now, it's actually on the website, that recipe. You can download it now because it's actually not in any of the cookbooks. This is one that I use with the shake mix. So go and check the recipe out. So if you want to make it, you'll know how to do it. But I'll show you on Thursday because it is the best banana bread you'll ever have. And a lot of people have been asking me for banana bread, so that's why I chose to do this one this week. But next Tuesday, I'm going to be back again in my kitchen and I'm going to be making, oh my gosh, get ready for this. Are you excited? It's out of book 4 and it's the butter chicken. Now that's normally what I call heart attack on a plate from the Indian shop. I'm going to show you a super low fat way that makes every butter chicken on the planet pale in comparisons. So, I mean, look, it's one of those things, it's about knowing, doing, and enjoying. And that's what I'm about. So, where's my egg lifter? Let me get my patty out. I'll probably cook them a little bit longer when the show's empty, but so you can use, but I just want to show you how it looks at the end. Oh, there we go. Get in there. There is my burger. I'd probably put a bit more of the smoky bacon on it. I mean, who knew weight loss could be so deliciously healthy? Yes, burger guilt-free. So that's been all that. I'm going to keep them cooking for a little bit longer. I hope you've enjoyed the class today. Don't forget to join me Thursday and next week because we're going to be here all in June. So take care and enjoy your burger. Bye now.